government communicates its policies to citizens, it also listens to public feedback to enable the president to refine policies and make better informed decisions.
Troops of the 65 Battalion of the Nigerian Army have dismantled a suspected illegal bunkering site in the Oluyole general area of Lagos State, arresting 6 suspected oil bunkers during an intelligence-led operation. The operation was carried out under the leadership of the commanding officer, Lieutenant Colonel S. Adeojo, following credible intelligence on illegal bunkering activities in the area. According to the Acting Deputy Director, Army Public Relations, 81 Division Nigerian Army, Lieutenant Musa Yahaya, today, the raid led to the arrest of 6 suspects and the recovery of 4 trucks, 1 pumping machine, and assorted pipes and drums allegedly used for illegal bunkering operations. The suspects and the recovered items have been handed over to the Lagos State Command of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps for further investigation and necessary action. Commending the troops for the successful operation, the General Officer commanding 81 Division Nigerian Army, Major General Adebayo Babalola, charged them to sustain the fight against economic sabotage and other criminal activities.
The Inspector General of Police, IGP Olatunji Disu, has pledged stronger collaboration between the Nigerian Police Force and the Nigeria Financial Intelligence Unit to combat money laundering, terrorism financing, and other financial crimes. IGP gave the assurance while receiving the Director and Chief Executive Officer of the NFIU, Hafsat Bakari, during a courtesy visit to the Force headquarters in Abuja. According to a statement issued today by the Force Public Relations Officer, CSP Ani Niedu, the visit centered on strengthening operational synergy, enhancing information sharing, and institutionalizing strategic collaboration between the 2 agencies. Bakari, who led a delegation of senior NFIU officials, described the partnership between the NFIU and the police as critical to Nigeria's national security architecture. The NFIU boss commended the Inspector General for approving a joint stock-taking exercise between the 2 agencies and called for deeper institutional cooperation.
Civil society organizations have warned the federal government that creating state police alone will not end Nigeria's worsening insecurity, insisting that reforms must also tackle the underlying governance, economic and social problems driving violence across the country. The warning came during a webinar titled Insecurity and State Policing in Nigeria, The Way Forward, organized by Corporate Accountability and Public Participation Africa, CAPA. The Rule of Law and Accountability Advocacy Center, RULAAC, Africana League and CAPA argued that policing reforms would achieve little without addressing poverty, unemployment, corruption, weak institutions and political exclusion. The Executive Director of RULAAC, Okechukwu Nwaguma, said insecurity should not be viewed merely as a policing problem, noting that governance failures remain the root causes of crime and violence. According to him, while decentralizing policing could improve responses to local security threats, it would not resolve Nigeria's security crisis unless accompanied by broader governance reforms. He cautioned that state police could become another tool for abuse unless strong accountability measures were embedded in the proposed system.
The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Waidi Shaibu, has appointed General Officers Commanding GOCs for the newly established Army divisions. The appointments followed President Bola Tinubu's approval of the new formations to strengthen the Nigerian Army's operational capacity across the country. Tinubu had approved the expansion of the Nigerian Army's structure from 8 to 12 divisions, alongside the recruitment of 28,000 new personnel. The new divisions are 5 division headquarters, Makurdi, to oversee Benue, Nasarawa and Kogi states, 9 division headquarters, Ilorin, to oversee Kwara and Niger states, 10 division headquarters, Jalingo, to oversee Taraba and Adamawa states, and 83 division headquarters, Benin City, to oversee Edo, Delta and Bayelsa states. The appointments were announced in a statement today by the Director of Army Public Relations, Colonel Apollonia Anele.
This broadcast of Newscope comes to you from the Broadcasting Corporation of Oluyole State, Ibadan. The Oluyole State Governor and presidential candidate of the Allied People's Movement (APM), Engineer Seyi Makinde, will The Oluyole State Governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, and presidential candidate of the Allied People's Movement will on Friday inaugurate the party's Oluyole State Presidential and Governorship Campaign Council. The inauguration is scheduled to take place by 3:30 p.m. at the conference room of the Governor's office in Ibadan. According to a statement by the Governor's Special Advisor on Media, Dr. Sulaiman Olarewaju, the Executive Chairman of the Oluyole State Universal Basic Education Board, Dr. Nureni Adeniro, has been appointed as the Oluyole State Coordinator of the APM 2027 Presidential Campaign and Director General of the Oluyole State Governorship Campaign Council. Other appointments include former chairman of Oyo's East Local Government, Honorable Saheed Arowoshaye, as Deputy State Coordinator of the Presidential Campaign, Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Matters, Honorable Demola Ojo, as Deputy Director General for Oyo South, while Dr. Femi Ojo and Alhaji Shiju Lawal will serve as Deputy Directors General for Oyo Central and Oyo North Senatorial Districts, respectively. Also appointed are Honorable Ramata Agberemi Dabo as Director of the Women's Wing and former Special Assistant on Youth to Governor Makinde, Honorable Kazim Bolarinwa as Director of the Youth Wing. The statement adds that other members of the campaign council will be announced in due course.
Coffee is one of the world's most widely consumed beverages, appreciated for its rich aroma and ability to enhance alertness. While some people depend on it to kickstart their day or improve productivity, health experts advise that it should be consumed in moderation, as excessive intake may pose health risks. Staff reporter Olubumi Lawal examines the benefits and contraindications of coffee consumption. Her report.
From homes and offices to restaurants and cafes, coffee has become a daily beverage for millions of people. Whether taken black or with milk and sugar, it remains a popular choice of those seeking an energy boost. Coffee contains caffeine, a natural stimulant that helps improve alertness, concentration, and mental performance. It is also rich in antioxidants and other beneficial plant compounds that help protect the body's cells from damage. Speaking with BCOS News, a food technologist, Professor Abiodun Olakpade, said moderate coffee consumption offers several health benefits, including improved mental alertness, enhanced physical performance, and better concentration. He added that decaffeinated coffee is a suitable alternative for people who are sensitive to caffeine, as it enables them to enjoy the flavor and many of the antioxidant benefits of coffee while minimizing side effects such as sleeplessness, restlessness, and nervousness.
Coffee is one of the non-alcoholic beverages that people have come to enjoy themselves with. So it's in the group of cocoa, cola, and tea. You can't see anybody now that is hungry and now say go and take tea or go and take coffee. It's just for refreshing and stimulation. They are serving as stimulant because of the caffeine content in them.
Professor Olakpade, however, cautioned that excessive coffee consumption may lead to insomnia, anxiety, nervousness, heart palpitations, and elevated blood pressure in some individuals, particularly those who are sensitive to caffeine.
The challenge with coffee is that it's not be abused because of that caffeine that I refer to. Because apart from this thing serve as stimulant that stimulates central nervous system of human being, it has side effects with some people. Not everybody. Some people are allergic or they can't tolerate it in large quantity. So, and that is why you have some people when they take it, they can sleep again. They become awake all the time.
He also advised consumers to limit the use of excessive sugar and high-fat creamers, noting that they can reduce the health benefits of coffee and contribute to increased calorie intake. Experts therefore recommend that the choice between regular and decaffeinated coffee should be guided by an individual's health condition, caffeine tolerance, and lifestyle, stressing that moderation remains the key to enjoying coffee safely and healthily. Olubumi Lawal, BCOS News.
Men are increasingly becoming victims of human trafficking alongside women and children as traffickers continue to exploit deception, false promises, and forced labor to lure unsuspecting victims. This development underscores the need for greater public awareness and intensified efforts to combat the crime. This was a submission of the Oluyole State Commander of the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NATIP, Mr. Alfred Kayode, and the coordinator of the Child Protection Network, Oluyole State, Mrs. Rosemary Odigbo, while discussing the topic, World Day Against Trafficking in Persons on the BCOS Current Affairs Breakfast Program, AM 120. Our reporter, Fedora Folagbuye, has more.
As the world marks the 2026 World Day Against Trafficking in Persons tomorrow, renewed attention is being focused on the growing threat of human trafficking and its devastating consequences for individuals, families, and communities. The annual observance also reinforces the need for sustained efforts to prevent trafficking, protect victims, prosecute offenders, and address the socio-economic factors that make people vulnerable to exploitation. Speaking on BCOS AM 120, the Oyo State Commander of the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, Mr. Alfred Kayode, said, although combating human trafficking remains challenging, the agency has continued to intensify public enlightenment campaigns and strengthen collaborations with non-governmental organizations and other critical stakeholders. He added, the NAPTIP has also stepped up investigations, arrests, and prosecution of traffickers to ensure perpetrators are brought to justice.
Women, especially mature women, married women, traveling to Arab countries to go and work as a house help and ending up being slaves is very, very prevalent in Oyo State. You know, why? It's not bad to go and work, you understand, because as an adult. But when it becomes exploitative, that is where it becomes human trafficking. Why? I talked about what we call kafala migration labor system, that in all these countries, their governments give them the right for sponsorship of immigrants to come and work for them. And the sponsor determines the entry, the residency, the nature of work, and the exit of such immigrants.
Also speaking, the coordinator of the Child Protection Network, Oyo State, Mrs. Rosemary Odigbo, stressed the importance of sustained public education and awareness, noting that illiteracy, ignorance, and inadequate information often make people easy targets for traffickers. Mrs. Odigbo identified the culture of concealing trafficking cases or delaying their resolution as a major obstacle to the fight against the crime. She, however, commended the effort of the police, social workers, and other stakeholders for their continued commitment to protecting vulnerable persons and rescuing victims.
Child Protection Network Oyo State will collaborate with the Integration Committee, Oyo State Integration Committee, and then we work with IAM for family tracing. We do family tracing, and then when the child is brought, we join them to integrate the child back to the family, and then we monitor them to make sure is that child going to school, is into vacation, or whatsoever. We monitor, even at times we give supports, financial support, scholarship, and so on, just to make sure that that child is okay, so that there will be no reoccurrence of being recycled again and moved out of the country. Then we collaborate largely with the Ministry of Women Affairs. Then we collaborate with NAPTIP. We work together. When there are cases, we involve them. We involve the police. We involve the civil defense.
The guest urged members of the public to remain vigilant, promptly report suspected cases of human trafficking to relevant authorities, and carefully verify attractive job, travel, and educational offers before accepting them, warning that many such opportunities are used as bait by traffickers. Fedora Afolagbe, BCOS News.
On the foreign scene, Russian industrial facilities in the western city of Ryazan have been hit by Ukrainian drone attacks, triggering fires, damaging property, and forcing the evacuation of warehouses belonging to major retailer Wildberries. Authorities say dozens of drones were intercepted, while several people sustained injuries as the conflict between the two countries continues to intensify. Foreign Desk Editor Folashade Akintola compiled the story and others as presented by Khadija Lawal.
Ryazan Governor Pavel Malkov said 45 drones were shot down over the region overnight Tuesday, with falling debris causing a fire in an industrial area and damaging a home and a building. 6 people were hospitalized with injuries, it said in a post on Telegram. The report comes as Ukraine ramps up attacks on Russian industrial sites, including those belonging to Wildberries, which Kyiv accuses of helping to supply the Russian army. Drones have damaged at least 7 Wildberries warehouses in the past several days, destroying about 10% of the company's storage capacity, disrupting operations and inflicting losses on tens of thousands of small businesses that sells goods and services on the platform, according to the company and local authorities. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky said Ukraine's latest strikes hit an oil refinery and logistics center in Ryazan, as well as a site in Russian-occupied Crimea, where high-speed boats belonging to Russian Black Sea Fleet are based. Meanwhile, the United States military says it's intercepted ballistic missiles fired by Iran across the Middle East. In a statement on X today, U.S. Central Command, CENTCOM, said Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, launched multiple ballistic missiles in an attempted surprise attack on U.S. forces based in the Middle East. All the missiles were intercepted, and U.S. forces remain vigilant at a high state of readiness, the statement added. 5 missile interceptions were reported over Jordan, according to the press. The IRGC said its Air Force targeted a U.S. airbase and central command center in Jordan with several ballistic missiles. And lastly, Japan's southwestern Kyushu region has had more than 100 aftershocks since it was struck on Tuesday by a powerful earthquake, which left at least 13 people dead. Many others were said to be in cardiopulmonary arrest, a term often used in preliminary reports in Japan before a death is officially confirmed. In searing heat, rescue crews are digging through the rubble at a paper factory and a shopping mall in Kumamoto Prefecture, looking for trapped survivors. The mall suffered an explosion in the hour after the quake struck. Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi warned it was truly a race against time to rescue those trapped. Thousands are in evacuation centers and many are without power. The Japan Meteorological Agency, JMA, is urging residents to be alert for the possibility of strong aftershocks, public broadcaster reported. One of the worst hit buildings was the Heian Mall in Kashima, where a portion of the second floor collapsed. Footage of the shopping center showed white smoke rising as people ran into the car park. Large parts of the center's exterior were blown off, exposing the steel beams underneath. 3 people remain unaccounted for as rescuers search the rubble. Khadija Lawal, BCOS News.
Okay. To end this edition of Newscope, here again are the top stories. The House of Representatives Ad hoc Committee investigating the alleged operation of the disputed Presidential Foreign Intervention Promotion Council has described the appointment letter received by Dini Adeyemi, who identified himself as the Director General, as fake.
Troops of the 65 Battalion of the Nigerian Army have dismantled a suspected illegal bunkering site in the Oluyole general area of Lagos State, arresting 6 suspected oil bunkerers during an intelligence-led operation.
The Oluyole State Governor and presidential candidate of the Allied People's Movement (APM), Engineer Seyi Makinde, will on Friday inaugurate the party's Oluyole State Presidential and Governorship Campaign Council.
On the foreign scene, Russian industrial facilities in the western city of Ryazan have been hit by Ukrainian drone strikes, triggering fires, damaging property, and forcing the evacuation of warehouses belonging to major retailer Wildberries.
If you see something suspicious, alert the authorities immediately for timely response. Be vigilant. That's all from the Newscope desk for now. It was packaged by Helen Fagbemi and delivered by
Oluyole Oluyole
and Ido Shekoni. Thanks for listening, and do not forget to tune in for the Yoruba version at 8 p.m. Good evening.
Oluyole FM 98.5. Oluyole FM 98.5. Me go halala. Me go hala. I don't tire for walala. For home and abroad. Now so wahala. You wahala. 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 Family member they stress like hell. I they work like Jackie. Them they ask for ticky. Them they ask for ticky. The little way you give them, no the way you give them, no they appreciate. I they hustle day and night. Them they wait to collect. Nobody they ask if myself I don't chop.